All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today's episode should be pretty fun. So what I like to do on this channel from time to time is just check on the players who actually left the program, left Miami's program to go to other opportunities, greener pastures, as they say. Um, Sometimes players leave and they find themselves in a good situation, a better situation for their career. And other times it looks like they just made a horrible decision, or every now and again it becomes pretty obvious that maybe the coach decided that it was time for them to go elsewhere. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through like 6 or 7 players that left this past season, and then I'll talk about 3 players that left the season prior to that. And I'll just tell you where they are now and what situation they're actually in. So, the first player we're going to talk about is Zaquan Patterson. Zay Patterson. I was huge on Zay Patterson. I thought he was going to be like, I wouldn't say the next Ed Reed, but I had some really high hopes for him. He played a lot like Sean Taylor. He'd get downhill and put thump on you. Like I was a huge fan of his. He ended up leaving Miami and going to Oklahoma State, and I don't know what really happened. I have no idea what happened, but apparently he was kicked off the team. So there was a statement or two that was released shortly after he got to Oklahoma State. And what I can read from this article from Yahoo Sports says, according to Polk's report, which apparently is Oklahoma State's news, I don't know. But anyway, it says, according to Polk's report, Patterson was dismissed Saturday and attempted to return to the team Sunday, but was turned away. Patterson wasn't part of the two deep lineup so far in fall camp. So that's what Polk's report put out. He was kicked off the team. He tried to come back the next day, and the coach was like, nah, buddy, go ahead and stay out of here. So there's no telling what the situation looks like for Zaquan Patterson. I don't know what he's going to end up doing. It looks like he's not on any football team right now. As far as I could tell, I did all kind of searches on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't get any information from him or about him. So I don't know what he's looking like. It does not seem like he's doing better than when he left Miami situation. And, when you go back and look, he was only a sophomore. He's going to be a sophomore this year. I thought he had a really high upside. The way that the defensive back struggled so much last year seems like they just cleaned house and told folks like, hey, man, we're going to bring in a whole new flock of players from all over the country. We're going to have 4 brand new starters. I say 4, but we're going to have new corners, new safeties, all that stuff. Everybody's going to be brand new. That's what it looks like. Except Frederic. But man, I don't know. It looks like he's not in a better situation, but God bless him. We'll see. Next player I want to talk about is Jaden Harris. So Jaden Harris was another piece of that struggling defensive backfield. So last year he had 26 solo tackles, not touchdowns. Lord have mercy. 26 solo tackles, 1 interception, and 2 pass deflections, pass defenses. So he's a junior this year. He doesn't have any stats so far because he has not recorded any statistics this year. He did not play at all in the first game. If you knew anything about my channel last year, you probably saw that Jaden Harris's mom came at me a couple times in the comment section, mainly because I was saying that Jaden Harris' angles were just so poor. Like he seemed like he just struggled time after time about like the angles that he would take on the football field. It drove me crazy. Never did any like name calling or anything like that because that's just not who I am. But I did call him out a few times because there were so many games throughout the season where it looked like he just was not learning. He would do the same thing so the Florida game, first game of the season, he had this horrible angle where there's a running back coming straight towards him. Not coming towards him, but going like in his direction. You could tell Jaden Harris was our last defense on this. He was the last person that could possibly get this guy. And instead of like breaking down and waiting for his help to get there, he like runs towards him and then does this pirouette thing where he just ends up following the guy 80 yards up the field. Like he ran up towards him and then just turned and ran with him up the field. It looked so bad. And he continuously did that throughout the entire season. So I continued to point that stuff out because it kept frustrating me. Well, his mom got a hold of it apparently, and she came at me pretty aggressively, kind of like what I would expect a parent too, dude. So I'm not mad at her. I respect what she did. It's cool. Um, and then she mentioned that he was going to go to Georgia and become a star. He's going to play really well there. Well, he's not playing yet. He is a junior. We shall see. I don't know if his situation's better. I don't know if it's worse, but we shall see. It's hard for me to imagine him getting on the field and playing a whole lot just based on what I saw on film last year. But we'll see, man. God bless him. Next player we want to talk about is Riley Williams. You remember Riley from the huge play that he had last year? That one of the many crazy comeback games that we had. Tight end number 88. He went to Oregon State, actually. He's a junior this year. Last year he had 7 receptions for 115 yards, so he didn't have a lot of stats. Not a whole lot, but this year, so far, he hasn't recorded any stats at all this year either. So the first game he played, I don't know if he got in the game at all, but I do know that he did not have a catch, didn't have a target, any of that stuff, which makes me think he probably didn't play at all. So is the situation better or worse? Makes me think it's probably a little bit worse, mainly because he was getting some clock. He was getting some playing time last year. And now I don't know what his playing time is going to look like. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. This one, Isaiah Horton. Of all the players that left last year, this is the one that shocked me the most, and this is the one that hurt the most. I'm not a part of the organization. I got to keep telling myself that every now and again when my emotions get a little too high. But I'm like, man, like that one hurt because Isaiah Horton, a couple of years ago, I wasn't too impressed with him, didn't think much of him. And then I saw him in the spring game last year, and I was like, who is that wearing number 2? Who is that? Because he is killing. And I found out it was Isaiah Horton. I'm like, that's the guy from last year. So last year, I thought he was incredibly impressive. More like a possession receiver. Wasn't super fast, but he had really good size. He's 6'4". So he had really good size and really good strong hands. Excellent route runner as well. He's not a speed guy. He's not a burner at all, but he was a really good possession receiver for us. Last year, I was impressed. The year before that, didn't think anything of him. So the fact that he was getting better and better every year, I'm like, man, his junior season, he should be killing the game for us. That's what I was expecting. Then, of course, Cam Ward goes to the NFL. Xavier Restrepo goes to the NFL. And I'm like, well, with all of those guys leaving, everybody leaving, it's no doubt that Isaiah Horton is going to be the front runner here for us. And then all of a sudden, he decides to jump into the transfer portal. I could not believe it. That one hurt. That one hurt pretty bad. I think out of the last couple of years, there's 2 players that I remember when they left. I was like, oh, man, that's tough. And Isaiah Horton was one of them. Sorry, my phone keeps ringing. All right, so the next guy I can think of is A.J. Allen. So he was a running back that came to us from, I think, Nebraska, if I remember correctly. Ended up transferring over to Miami. Expected him to be a really, really good contributor. Didn't really get a whole lot going on last year just because the backfield was so crowded. Ended up transferring to Florida International, I believe it was. And then shortly after he left Florida International, he went to Tulsa. Apparently, Florida had too many running backs. So he ended up going to Tulsa, playing there. 5'11", 200 pounds. He's a junior. He's not a speed guy either. He does a little bit of everything. He's not as good as Emmitt Smith, but he reminded me of like an Emmitt Smith type player. Not super fast, not super strong, not real quick, but just effective, you know? So this year so far, he's been able to get on the field, which is nice. 9 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown. He did not have the most carries on his team, so it looks like he's the second on the depth chart. I think he had 9 carries, and I believe the player with the most carries on the team had 20 carries. So he's obviously second on the depth chart, but he was able to get into the game and score a touchdown. Who did they play? I forgot who they actually played. I remember looking at this earlier, and I was like, who is that? Oh, it's ACU is who they played. So you let me know who ACU is. Let me know in the comment section if you could guess who ACU is. What does that stand for? The answer is Abilene Christian University, the Wildcats. When I saw ACU on his schedule, I was like, I have no idea who that is. But now we know it's Abilene. So God bless them. All right. The next player I want to discuss today. This will hurt my heart too. I'm not going to lie to you. This will hurt my heart. There was two players that hurt my heart this year when they left. It was Isaiah Horton and Chris Johnson Jr. When Chris Johnson left, I thought that I felt like it was just a premature and maybe an immature decision. It's hard for me to say immature because I don't know the whole situation. So it's hard for me to say that. But it looked kind of like somebody saying, man, I should have played way more this season. They don't like me. They don't like me up there, so I'm going to go somewhere else. That's kind of what it felt like happened. I just felt like he left a year too soon. He's a sophomore this year. He was a freshman last year, obviously. He's a burner, super fast, and got on the field. He was able to play as a freshman with the Miami Hurricanes. That's a big deal, right? So I just felt like he was going to have a bunch of opportunities this year, which is why I was so shocked that he decided to leave. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? So Isaiah Horton, all the receivers left. You're obviously going to be at the top of the list. He left. I look at Chris Johnson. I'm like, okay, you've got one of the starting running backs who's leaving. You've got A.J. Allen who's leaving. So you're obviously going to be number 1 or 2. Maybe you'll be in the top 3. If not top 3 in the backfield, they'll find somewhere to put you at the slot receiver and do something with you. I don't know what but something. And he just dipped on us. And the place that he went, I was like, oh my Lord. Went to SMU, the fake Miami University. SMU is so good at getting our scraps. It's almost embarrassing. I guess it would be embarrassing if they weren't winning with our scraps, right? Like, if they were taking all of our scraps and getting like dead last in the ACC, we could laugh at them. But the fact that they take our scraps and perform well, better than we do, hell, it's almost embarrassing for us at this point, right? So Chris Johnson Jr., man, he left, I think, a year too soon. We're going to see what they do against Baylor. They ended up winning their first game. This is another school that I want you to tell me who this is. They played against ETAM. So let me know in the comment section if you know who ETAM is. Just to let you know, it's the East Texas A&M Lions. Never heard of that school. Never heard of that school in my life. But the East Texas A&M. That's nuts. I don't know what to tell you about that. Like, I don't know what to tell you about that school. But they probably won't win too many football games this year. I don't know what division, I don't know what they play, but that's who SMU played and beat. Next player, Reese Poffenbarger. I actually felt bad for Reese Poffenbarger mainly because he committed to the Hurricanes before. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back and do something real quick. So Chris Johnson did actually play in his last game. He had 6 carries for 44 yards and he scored a touchdown. They have like a running back by committee thing. They got so many running backs and they all ran the ball like 6, 7, or 8 times. I don't know what the pecking order is there, but it looks like Chris Johnson Jr. is going to get a bunch of opportunities. He already scored a touchdown on the year. I think he's going to do some pretty cool things. Yeah, I do believe so. 6 carries, 44 yards, and a touchdown as a sophomore. And his head coach there, we can't hate on Rhett Lashley. He's a beast, man. Rhett Lashley is cold. Like, I'm a huge Mario Cristobal fan. Huge Mario Cristobal fan. But I was thinking, if he does not last, I would love to have Rhett Lashley come in and coach the Hurricanes. He was a great offensive coordinator when he was there, and I was like, he'd be a good head coach too. Anyway, Reese Poffenbarger, I actually felt bad for him mainly because when he decided to leave his situation at Albany and play for the Hurricanes, our quarterback situation wasn't finished developing yet. We hadn't gotten Cam Ward yet. So he came to the Hurricanes expecting to be the starter. And then, like, out of nowhere, Cam Ward's coming, so you're just going to have to sit on the bench for the whole year. It feels like a waste of time almost. Like, it just feels like I don't know, it feels like a waste of time. Like he came to the Hurricanes and just stayed there. Sure, I bet he learned quite a few things, but I don't know, man. It feels like he wasted a year of his life going to Miami where he could have been playing 12 games somewhere else and trying to get to the NFL and do something in his professional career. Just feels like he wasted some time there. And he went to North Texas. They won 51-0, and they played against, here's another school, LAM. Let me know what you think LAM is. That is apparently Lamar University. Never heard of Lamar University. I don't know where it is. I don't know what they're about. Apparently they're a red and black team. I don't know what division they are. I don't know anything about Lamar, but that's who they ended up beating. My concern with Reese Poffenbarger is they won 51-0 and he only had 2 attempts. So he is absolutely number 2 on the depth chart without a question. And to not have any type of, like, if you went 51-0, you would expect your backup to get at least 15 attempts, like to play the second half, maybe the whole fourth quarter, something like that. But I don't know. That's a little troubling to me. 51-0, he only had 2 attempts. Nothing else going this year. Okay, the next guy we got to talk about is from 2 years ago. We got to talk about him. Tyler Van Dyke. Tyler Van Dimes, as they say. Tyler Van Dyke ended up going to Wisconsin and tore his knee tore it up. I think it was the first drive of his first game, at Wisconsin. Yeah, didn't go well, obviously. So he hurt his knee real bad, and now he's at, you guessed it, SMU, the Miami wasteland. SMU is where he's playing. He's probably going to end up missing the whole year. SMU actually has a pretty good quarterback, so I'm a little confused on why Tyler Van Dyke would go there, because I think if Tyler Van Dyke was healthy, he wouldn't have started. So I don't know why he went there. But anyway, Tyler Van Dyke at SMU, the Miami graveyard. He's there. We'll see what he ends up doing next year. Next guy, one of the biggest fan favorites of the last few years, even though he didn't play a lot. Everybody ended up liking this guy. Like, I liked him a lot. Jakari Brown. He went to UCF. Not going so hot so far for him. He's a junior now. He's got excellent size. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, runs like a wide receiver. But man, like last year, he threw for 398, had 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. That just ain't gonna get it done. And then a lot of people forget, but UCF is in the Big 12 now. They are pass happy in the Big 12. So you should be able to amass some pretty good numbers at that place, but it's just not working. He didn't play at all this past game. And they actually had 2 quarterbacks that did play. So he's at least number 3 on the depth chart, if not worse. So Jakari Brown just seemed like it's not working out for him right now. I expected him to just get that UCF job and just run with it. I thought he was going to start last year. So for him to be on like 3rd on the depth chart this year, something's not going right. And that's a big concern. I know they got a new coach, but man, that doesn't look good. It looks like he needs to get on out of there. Okay, so earlier in the video, I mentioned that there were 2 players from this past season that transferred, and it hurt me. There was 1 player from 2 seasons ago when they transferred, I was hurt. And that player is Brashard Smith. So Brashard Smith is in a very similar situation to me that Chris JohnsonJr. was in. I feel like it was a premature and immature decision that he made. If you remember, Brashard Smith ended up leaving just before our bowl game. Just disappeared. Didn't tell anybody, just disappeared, gone, not playing in the bowl game. We're like, what's up with him? And the fact that he was getting touches on, he was doing kickoff returns every now and again, he lined up in the slot. I thought he was like next in line to do some excellent stuff for us. He wasn't patient enough. He was like, nah, I'm getting on out of here. But you can't really hate the decision because it ended up working out for the dude. Like, he went to SMU and balled out. He showed out at SMU. He got he was playing like he started playing receiver for the Hurricanes, but he went to SMU and played running back. But it wasn't just running back. Like, I would list him as athlete. He lined up at the receiver slot, the receiver position a lot. He returned punts a lot. He returned kickoffs. They just did everything they could to get the ball in his hands. So they treated him as a superstar. And it worked out for him. He's playing for the Chiefs now, and he just might end up being the Chiefs starting running back. So I can't be mad at the guy. He was a 7th-round pick, number 228 for the Chiefs. And y'all know how cute the Chiefs can get when it comes to offense. They put all kinds of speed out there, and they will do fake handoff, fake handoff. You don't know who got the ball. So I think it's the perfect destination for him because once he gets the ball in his hands, he is dynamite. So I can't be mad at him leaving the Hurricanes too much because he ended up making a decision that worked out for him, right? So that's all that I got for y'all, man. That's all the people that I wanted to do a follow-up on real quick. I'll do another one of these probably towards the middle of the season, something like that, and then I'll do another one at the end of the season, and we'll just compare how well they're doing compared to how they did with the Hurricanes. All right, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I got to get off this phone because I've got to get off this video because my phone is blowing up. I got my bank calling me, my banker. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Take care. God bless. Peace.